You work hard, pay your debts on time, try to save, but your bank account still doesn't grow. Why? Because you might be caught in a financial trap, one that comes in the form of a shiny new car. In America, owning a car is a necessity, but that's exactly what pushes millions into becoming car poor, pouring money every month into a new vehicle, insurance, gas, repairs, and having nothing left to invest in the future. The financial pressure, the sting of comparison when someone else drives a brand new car, all of it is real. But you are not alone. I'm about to tell you a story, one most people never notice, about how a car can silently drain tens of thousands of dollars from your life, and more importantly, how to break free from it. But first, let's go back to where it all begins. Your car, a trusted companion or a financial trap? For decades, the car has been seen as a symbol of success in America. People often say, "Show me what you drive, and I'll tell you who you are." That's why many middle-aged individuals, after years of hard work, choose to reward themselves with a brand new car, modern, powerful, and full of comforts. But once the initial excitement fades, reality starts to sink in. Each month, the bills arrive like clockwork. $650 for the loan, $200 for insurance, another $150 for gas and maintenance. Altogether, that's nearly $1,000, roughly 25% of the average household income. And that doesn't even include unexpected expenses, a flat tire, engine repair, or even just a scratch you didn't see coming. The question is no longer, what kind of car do you like? It's, are you working to support your car, or is your car supporting your life? This isn't a personal story. It's the reality of millions of Americans. Every year, hundreds of thousands fall into the trap of being car poor, owning a car, but losing their ability to build wealth. They can't invest, they can't leave a draining job, they live in a constant state of financial pressure, not because they're reckless with money, but because their vehicle quietly drains a massive portion of their income. In today's world, owning a car isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. But that's exactly what makes it dangerous. People are influenced by advertising that tells them a new car will make them look more successful, feel more confident, become more attractive. But behind the polished paint and fancy technology lies a loan that eats away at their financial freedom day after day. Take a common example, a mid-range sedan priced at $28,000. On paper, it seems reasonable. But when you add up the full cost of ownership over 5 years, depreciation, insurance, fuel, maintenance, and loan interest, the total easily exceeds $45,000. That means you're paying nearly $17,000 just to experience the feeling of new. Now, compare that to what could happen if the same amount were invested in the stock market. With an average return of 10% per year, you could turn that into over $60,000 in 5 years. This isn't just a numbers game. It's the difference between being trapped in a financial cycle or starting to build real wealth. A car can be a tool for commuting, for getting your kids to school, for helping care for aging parents. But when it consumes too much of your income and mental space, it stops being a companion. It becomes a burden, a financial drain, and a roadblock on the path to freedom. No one is saying you shouldn't own a car, but the real question is, are you in control of your car, or is your car controlling your life? At middle age, when your health and future can no longer be taken for granted, financial decisions require more clarity. True freedom, financial and emotional, doesn't come from shiny appearances. It comes from the peace of mind you feel every night, knowing that you're no longer chained to things that only look like success. Ask yourself this: if you could cut your car expenses in half and invest the difference, how would your life look 5 or 10 years from now? Choosing less convenience today could mean a far more stable future for you and your family. Because this isn't just a financial decision, it's a choice about happiness, self-development, and long-term success.
The dark side of success on wheels. In America, a car isn't just a way to get from one place to another, it's a symbol of status. A brand new, gleaming, tech-packed vehicle is often associated with words like confidence, class, and success. And it's hard to resist, especially when everyone around you, from coworkers to neighbors and even family, seems to upgrade their car every year. Social pressure is invisible, yet heavy. It makes you believe that if you're still driving an older, used car, you're falling behind. That's why so many people, especially after 40, fall into a familiar trap, taking out loans to buy a new car. not because they need it, but because they fear being judged as unsuccessful. Advertising only makes it worse. Every frame, every slogan is carefully designed to stir emotion. Drive what you deserve. A new car, a fresh start. Success is behind the wheel. These messages play on repeat, embedding themselves in the minds of consumers, especially those trying to rise, to prove themselves, or simply to escape the dull routine of everyday life. But what's the truth? The truth is that no one really pays attention to what you drive. And even if they do, they won't be the ones paying your monthly bill. A shiny new SUV might turn heads for a few seconds, but the monthly payments for the loan, insurance, gas, and maintenance are yours to carry, alone, for years. Research shows that in the U.S., the average consumer spends 20 to 30% of their monthly income on transportation. And when a car consumes that much, the first thing to be sacrificed is often investing. Many people over 40 have finally reached a stable career and earn decent incomes, but instead of using that income to invest, grow, or prepare for retirement, they choose to upgrade their image with a new car. There's a saying that still rings painfully true today. We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people who don't care. And the consequence of that choice isn't just lost money, it's lost time. Lost opportunities to build wealth, and sometimes lost freedom. When your finances are squeezed by car payments, fatigue sets in. There's no room for travel, for learning, for rest, no budget left to invest in your health or nurture relationships with loved ones. Meanwhile, those who live more simply, driving older cars, staying debt-free, are quietly investing every month. They're building wealth not by looking rich, but by understanding the real value of every dollar they earn. They know that true wealth doesn't sit in the driveway. It grows in an investment account. It's not about fleeting admiration. It's about long-term peace of mind. Happiness doesn't come from driving the newest car. It comes from not worrying when the bills arrive, from knowing you're making smart choices for your future, and from the freedom to choose, without pressure, without fear. That's real personal growth. That's living for lasting values, not chasing the gaze of strangers. So before you decide to upgrade your car, ask yourself, are you doing this for you or for someone else's approval? Will this vehicle move your life forward or hold it back? And are you trading long-term freedom for a few seconds of attention? A wise financial decision doesn't just preserve your money, it protects your peace of mind, your health, and your dream of a truly free life.
Shocking numbers. What your car is really costing you. In today's world, owning a car is almost essential, especially for middle-aged Americans. Whether it's commuting to work, driving grandkids to school, caring for elderly parents, or simply keeping life running smoothly, a reliable vehicle seems like a must. But there's a financial truth few ever stop to consider. Your car might be costing you far more than you think. On paper, a sedan like the Honda Civic comes with a reasonable price tag of around $27,000. That sounds manageable for the average middle-class household. But when you break it down, the real cost over 5 years can reach nearly $47,000, almost double the sticker price. Why? Because owning a car isn't just about the price you see on the lot. It's about the hidden costs that quietly drain your wallet over time. Depreciation. The moment you drive your car off the lot, it loses 10 to 15% of its value. Over 5 years, a Civic may lose nearly $11,000 in value just from wear and tear and market loss. Insurance. Even with a clean driving record and strong credit, insurance can cost nearly $12,000 over 5 years. If you're younger or considered high risk, that number can easily double. Fuel. You'll likely spend around $6,400 on gas, and that's assuming gas prices stay stable, which they rarely do. Loan interest. If you're financing the car rather than paying in full, interest can add another $4,700 to your 5-year bill, assuming favorable credit. Maintenance and repairs. Even new cars need upkeep. Oil changes, tires, brakes, and routine inspections can cost about $5,000 over 5 years. Taxes and registration fees. Expect to pay around $2,800 to keep your car legally on the road. Add it all up, and you're looking at $46,821 to own and operate a car originally priced at $27,000. And after 5 years, that car might only be worth $19,000 if you've kept it in good shape. It means you've effectively lost more than $27,000 for the privilege of ownership. But the more shocking truth lies in what that money could have done elsewhere. Imagine you didn't buy that car. Instead, you took the equivalent amount, roughly $780 a month, and invested it in an S&P 500 index fund. With a historical average return of 10% per year, you could have over $60,000 after 5 years. In other words, the financial gap between buying that car and investing the same amount is around $40,000 in lost net worth. This isn't just about math. This is a wake-up call, especially for those in the crucial phase of life between ages 40 and 60. When your health needs more attention, when your kids are approaching college, and when retirement is no longer a distant idea, every dollar counts more than ever. No one's saying you shouldn't own a car. The real question is, have you calculated the true cost of your decision? A nice car may bring a moment of pride, but true financial freedom, peace of mind, and the ability to invest in your health, your happiness, your relationships, and your long-term success, those are the real goals after 40. Wealth doesn't come only from big salaries. It comes from smart decisions. Every dollar you hold back and put to work becomes a building block toward a future where you're not dependent on Social Security, where you don't have to cut back in retirement, and where you live life on your terms. So before you sign the paperwork, ask yourself a simple question. Is the car I'm about to buy really worth trading away tens of thousands of dollars in future opportunities? Because sometimes what looks like a reasonable purchase is quietly becoming the biggest money drain in your life.
The psychology trap. Are you buying joy or a future full of worry? The car rolls out of the dealership, gleaming paint, the crisp scent of new leather, cutting-edge tech that turns heads at every corner. In that moment, you feel proud, confident, as if you've stepped into a new chapter of your life. But fast forward a few months, and what's left? A 5 to 7 year loan, rising insurance premiums, and a quiet dread every time the engine makes a strange sound. At middle age, people no longer buy cars just to get around. They buy the feeling, the sense of, I deserve this, the hope that others will see them as successful, worthy of admiration. In modern culture, the new car has become a status symbol, and many believe that to be respected, they must drive something impressive. But here's the truth, that feeling fades quickly. What stays is the financial stress, the anxiety at every payment deadline, and the constant pressure to earn enough to feed the car. This is the real psychology trap. You're not just buying a car. You're buying a fleeting sense of happiness at the cost of long-term insecurity. Many people over 40 fall into this cycle. They've worked hard, are earning more, and feel it's time to upgrade their life. But instead of investing, saving, or improving their health, they reward themselves with a brand new vehicle, often before they're financially ready. And that's when the car stops being a gift and becomes a burden. Because the confidence a new car gives doesn't last, but the debt will, for years. Be honest with yourself. Are you buying the car because you need it, or because you want others to believe you're doing well? Are you trying to please others, or betraying your own future? When spending is driven by emotion, regret often follows. A car doesn't define your worth. True happiness, success, and freedom aren't found behind the wheel. They're found in the peace of knowing you're in control of your life. A smart financial decision doesn't just protect you from debt. It creates space for what truly matters after 40. Stable health, strong relationships, personal growth, and peace of mind. So the next time you feel the urge to upgrade your car, ask yourself, am I buying joy or buying years of quiet stress I'll carry on my back? Choose peace over someone else's approval, because at the end of the day, you're the one who will pay, not just with money, but with your freedom.
Those who escaped the carpoor trap and how they did it. In a society where cars are often seen as symbols of success, not everyone dares to go against the tide. But those who do, those who choose differently, are quietly and boldly building real, lasting wealth. A recent survey shows a growing number of middle-aged Americans choosing a simpler path, driving older cars, avoiding debt, and prioritizing investment over appearances. They don't need to show off. They don't need luxury vehicles to prove their worth. They understand a simple truth. Keeping your money matters more than looking rich. And these people are getting results that many find astonishing. Some couples earn just over $100,000 a year, completely average in the U.S., yet have built net worths of over $2 million. How? because they refused to let a car consume their financial future. So what did they do differently? First, they drive their cars for 5 to 10 years. Not because they can't afford new ones, but because they know car value drops faster than investments grow. Every year they hold on to a working vehicle is another year they can invest thousands instead. Second, they buy used cars that are 3 to 4 years old. New cars lose 10 to 15% of their value the moment they leave the lot. After 3 years, that loss can reach 40%. Buying at that point saves tens of thousands while still getting a reliable, modern vehicle. Third, they limit vehicle costs to no more than 15% of their income. This is a hard rule. Even as their income grows, they keep car expenses in check, freeing up money to invest in stocks, index funds, or real estate. Fourth, they learn basic maintenance to avoid unnecessary repair costs. They're not mechanics, but they know how to change oil, check tires, and understand basic error codes, saving hundreds each year and staying in control at the shop. These decisions don't just save money, they protect peace of mind. When you're not drowning in car payments and your investments are growing steadily, you sleep better, breathe easier, and make decisions from a place of freedom, not fear. There's a quote worth remembering. Your car doesn't need to be beautiful, your life does. Because the car is just a tool. But if you let it dictate how you live, how you spend, and how you feel about yourself, it stops being a tool and becomes a trap. After 40, every financial choice shapes your future, your retirement, your children's security, and the quality of your everyday life. Choose wisely. Even if your car is older, if your net worth is growing, you're headed in the right direction. Freedom doesn't come from driving a new car. It comes from controlling your money so it works for you, not the other way around. You may have once believed a shiny new car would make you feel more successful. Many people did, but they eventually realized true worth isn't parked in the garage. It lives in the peace of being debt-free, the power to invest in the future, and the relief of knowing you're living for what really matters. A new car won't buy you a good night's sleep, but a smart decision just might buy you your freedom. Have you ever fallen into the new car trap? Share your story in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear they're not alone. And if you're starting over, there's no better day than today. Don't forget to subscribe, because you don't need a nicer car. You need a life worth living.